Hi there. I wanted to offer just a few tips for embedding or integrating some of the resources that are highlighted here into Schoology and or Google Classrooms. But just wanted to focus on if you wanted to use these resources, how to kind of add them to your already established courses. So, for example, you might have your information broken down by weeks or units or topics, but there's a couple of different ways that you can add the materials depending on what kind of resource it is. So as you're building your materials, you can add pages, you can add assignments, you can add tests. But say you've got a page and you'd want to embed a video. For example, I think I mentioned this great resource for those of you teaching life sciences, in particular biology. If you wanted to embed this video, there's a couple ways to do it. You can share the link, copy and paste the link. But if you wanted it to actually, so copy and paste here, to integrate into the web page itself, then you just need this embed code. You go and hit copy. And then in the actual page itself, you would just go to the location within the page or the assignment where you want the video and put your cursor there. And then go up to the Insert Content button. Under the image and media, you would go to From the Web and then click Media and then copy paste that particular resource where you've saved the embed code and hit Save Changes. And that will actually show up where the student doesn't need to navigate away from this page. It'll actually just show up right there in the content and they can hit play. And you can do this also with simulations. For example, for those of you that use PhET, if you go to the simulation itself, a lot of them, particularly ones that are HTML5, so if you, there we go. If you click on one of these, I use this one a lot for science, but also math is a good one. Click on the simulation and go to the embed code and copy and paste this. And then again, you just go to your page itself and hit edit. And then from the edit, we'll repeat those steps and go to insert content. So put the cursor where you want it, image, media, from the web, media, copy, paste, and then insert that. And when you save those changes, then you can automatically see without having to navigate outside of this site, that simulation or whatever that media is, if it's a video that you've pulled in from an outside source. You can also, if you make videos, whatever, you can either upload those videos to YouTube and use the same procedure, or if you're in Screencastify, that's an option as well, to embed those directly. So that's how I would do media that I would insert using the insert content material. Another way to use that is within your folder or your wherever you are in Schoology is just go to Add Materials, Add File, Link External Tool. Here, if I wanted, for example, if I had a PDF that I wanted them to view, or it's a Word document of a worksheet or an assignment that I have, I can just simply click a file and then upload whatever that file is from my computer. I can insert a link. So if I just wanted them to link to a video or link to maybe, I don't know, a website that's got some information here that I want them to go to, then I can just copy and paste that link. And from that link, it would go directly there in Schoology. And a third way to do it is to use the external tool. And so this will actually link to, depending on the kind of, like, for example, if you have an interactive simulation, you could use that. If you use WeVideo, you can, for example, input that here. So it just kind of depends on the resource you want to use, but you can embed that as well. Another thing you can do to insert content, I think I mentioned a few of these options, is when you go into the add materials, we've got a couple of different resources that are already linked. So if you use Quizlet, for example, or some of the TED Ed videos that you might use, click on that. CK12 is one that I like for elementary and secondary. And this allows you to directly kind of insert any of these external tools into your Schoology class. CK12 has Flexbooks, which are kind of their online textbooks, and you can actually embed, entire chapters and of different things into your course using this. These are reading activities as well as some interactive stuff. So that's one way to do it. CK12 Plex, I really like using. These are some really cool kind of interactive, if not quite simulations and some demonstrations and practice. Let me show you what those look like. To insert these, you can actually do it directly into Google Classroom. Unfortunately, it isn't quite integrated yet. So say I wanted to do something, here's teaching the heat curve. This is kind of a cool interactive lesson. And they've got quite a few, both in science and math, that you can add. You're able to assign this directly to Google Classrooms, but you can also just simply insert it with a link using that insert file link here. So I can just add this by putting it in here. Again, I can align it to my standards if I want to tag standards. I can assign this just to individual students in the class if I only needed a few students to cover it. I can display it directly in Schoology or have it open up a new window so it opens up a new tab. It's totally up to you. But that's another way to add additional material into, so here it shows up like this, like a link, into Schoology. So they're not kind of clicking around outside of Schoology. They're still able to interact with some of these cool different tools and resources. Hope that's helpful. Reach out to me if you have any questions. Here's my name. You can message me within Schoology or just using my BVSD account.